What's up? It's Louis A. Richard Legs Media, and we are here with our pre-race uh, preview to talk about Le Tour de France, everything that happened yesterday, and what's about to happen today. Today has already started off really, really interesting. So this course that they have, like where they make the riders, uh, the towns that they direct them through. So just now there was a huge accident on a sharp corner, which is completely broken up the race. So you got the yellow jersey in one group, you got the white jersey in another group, and what is the gap? The gap is, it says Peloton a minute and 33. So Florian Lipowitz is a minute and 33 seconds behind the yellow jersey group. So they're trying to get back on. They do have some climbs coming up in intermediate sprint. So it's going to be full on all the way to the intermediate sprint. And you see guys attacking from the yellow jersey group, and Poggy's not even really responding. He's just cruising down the hill. Um, yeah, it's going to be another fast and hectic day. They're not quite sure if it's going to be a sprinter's day or be a breakaway day. There's been mixed feelings on what type of day it's going to be, but it's going to be a breakaway because you have category three climb. The first category three climb is only 1.7 kilometers, and then the next category three climb is 6.3 kilometers, and then the this category two climb, which is pretty tough. With the thinking that like sprinters can get dropped, but it's 42 kilometers from the finish, so they have enough time if they just band together to chase back possibly and still make it into a sprint. But it's I would say it's 55-45 or maybe 60-40 to chances of the breakaway is going to make it today. And as I said yesterday before the race started, I said I think Remco is going to pull out if he has another bad day. I just had that feeling like he was looking like I'm not feeling this. I'm just not feeling this, and that's what it was. It was quite easy to see. When a person like Ramco is a pretty straightforward, straight shooting guy. He doesn't like try to fake or be clever or hold his words. He just says what he thinks, what he's on his mind. When he thought he could win the time trial, he felt like he was a favorite to win the time trial. He said, "Yeah, I want to win the time trial." He didn't just say he wanted to win the time trial. He wanted to see if he could take enough time back to get the yellow jersey, and that was his goal. So when Remco, like that's one thing you have to love about Remco. He just speaks and he just says what he needs to say. So anyway, Thymen ARENSMAN was yesterday's winner. He got into the breakaway group. He had 3 minutes, and he said to Poggi he thought those guys was going to chase him back because he said, I only had 3 minutes. Just imagine if you're a person that racing and you have 3 minutes and you have 5 kilometers to the top, and in your head you think that's not enough time. That's crazy. That's crazy. So that's the talent that he knew that was behind him, and he thought he was going to get caught, but he didn't get caught. And Ineos Grenadiers needed this win so bad because they didn't get any stage with lashes. So they got that monkey off the back, and they are good to go. They are good to go. So I was talking about Remco, who abandoned, and man, so what's the rest of the season going to be like for him? I mean, they're talking about the Volta, possibly getting ready for the Volta, and it's also talk about Pogacar is probably going to do the Volta as well as Jonas is going to do the Volta as well, and I think Primoz may be there as well too. So it'll be a full cast again. So it'll be an interesting race, and then this is the Volta just before the World Championships, which is going to be in Kigali, and we're going to get to that. So it's going to be, what's going to happen? How is Remco going to bounce back? How is he going to race the rest of the season? And then also with the talk, I think if he's leaving the team, I think he said he's going to Ineos Grenadiers. So that's going to be an interesting look. So he's going to Ineos Grenadiers. So that's Remco, and then he was always also talked about Thymen ARENSMAN, who is the uh, winner from yesterday's stage. And today the race is in chaos. So it's like the peloton is 5 seconds behind. I think Nielsen Paulus is still in the breakaway. He's still out there by himself. And then a minute and 8 seconds. So the white jersey group has closed the gap down to a minute and 8 seconds. So they were a minute and 30 seconds. So I think once they catch Paulus, they will calm down if they catch Paulus. and hopefully I was, I didn't think about Nielsen Paulus as a breakaway uh, person possibly until someone mentioned it, and I'm hoping that he stays away. So is he caught? Looks like he's caught, and then the white jersey group is a minute behind, and Visma is on the front. So, and then let's really quickly. This is the other big news. The other big news is, oh, sorry. Other big news is this. This is yep, you seen it right. You are seeing right. There's supposed to be a merger happening in 2026 with Intermarché and Lotto. So these are both Belgian. They are both Belgian companies or products. Intermarché, if you didn't know, Intermarché is a supermarket. It's like a massive supermarket chain. Uh, I don't know, depending on which country, but it's a massive supermarket chain that's all over Belgium. And then Lotto, obviously, Lotto Lottery. So they are the national lottery, and they are going to combine to make one team. So it sounds already like they're going to go with the Belgian, which is uh, this young man's name here, Arnaud Demir, Arnaud Delis, sorry, Arnaud Delis, Arnaud Delis, and it sort of makes sense. It's a Belgian team, so if you got a choice between a Belgian star and African star, unless Binny was like dominating the Tour de France and in the green jersey and winning stages like he was last year, then they would probably lean towards Binny. But Binny hasn't performed this year, so this diversity, equity, inclusion crap. You if you are worth your weight in gold and if you are good enough, then you get taken. So I can see them keeping Arnold Delete because they've had similar type of results this year. They both just come close, but if I'm from Bermuda, and if I'm and we got another island like say Barbados, and we have two sprinters that are similar, and the team is based on Bermuda sponsors, I'm gonna pick the Bermudian guy. It's just common sense. Hello, Roy. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you hit the like button. Appreciate you. Uh, I do not like racing. Anyway, do you like cycling? Do you like cycling? If you like cycling, that's what's up. Who cares about if you like racing? But if you like cycling, there you go. So just Arnold Daly and Biniam Gourmet, I think they were going to go with Arnold Daly, and Biniam, I'll be wicked because since Remco is supposed to be going to Ineos, if Biniam went to Ineos, because then they would have a sprinter and then a GC man, and they are both about the same age, so they do have time to grow and mature. So just imagine the both of them, Biniam becoming probably the top sprinter of all round, with Remco moving up into the GC. I believe Remco is going to become a really GC guy. He's going through a lot of heartaches and turmoils, and when you go through stuff like Remco's going, that builds you into a it either makes you or breaks you. And Remco doesn't seem like the type is going to break. And that's just speaking out loud. I think that would be a wicked combination if Bini went to Intermar. I mean, Ineos Grenadiers, Total Energies, and along with it. So, but anyway, it is what it is. Just speaking out loudly. What do you think? Do you think that will be a wicked combination? I think it'll be a wicked combination. Who and then the last thing we need to just touch on before we get into this race and watch the rest of this race is Cycling African is premiering tonight, and they're going to be talking about the World Championships that's going to be hosted for the first time in Africa, which is going to be in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda, and yeah, the course. I'm not quite sure if Benny said he's doing that because it's a climbers course. So if Benny wasn't doing it, I would not be surprised because it's not a course where he's going to feature in it. Maybe he'll do it just for the optics, just to be there, do a couple of laps, just for the sake of doing a couple of laps. But it's a climbers course, and they're looking. They think that Pogacar is probably going to go back to back as world champion because of the type of course that this course that they have mapped out in Kigali is a beast of a course. I mean, it's not for the weak at all. It's it's a tough course. Um, so yeah, so if you do watch the Discovery Channel, if you are watching the Tour de France on the Discovery Channel, check it out tonight. I will be checking it out so I could give them my review on it and what they said and whatnot, and then keep fingers crossed that I can get to the World Championships in Kigali, Rwanda this September. Hey Roy, how you doing? I see you. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. I'm glad you love racing. I love racing too. I don't race anymore, but I love racing as well. I love watching it even more. Um, Today's stage, it's how long is today's stage? Today's stage is 169.3 kilometers. Like I said, they got two good bumps in there. A category 3 climb, which is 6.3 kilometers, and then a category 2 climb, which is 3.9 kilometers, which is actually, that's where the climb finishes, but then it continues on for at least another 10 kilometers, continues to rise. Uh, huh? I don't know. That seems weird. I've never ever seen that. I'm wondering if this is even because it's quite people make up fake profiles all of the time. Community guidelines. Hmm. Anyway, I was about to to get off anyway, so I'm not even worried about that. What I'll do is when I get off, I'm going to go and investigate that because you do get all types of trolls. And now I need to end immediately. I can check my email now. There's nothing in my email. So people that troll like this, it's not cool. Yeah, there's nothing in my email. So like whoever you are, man, it's not cool. It's not cool when you do stuff like this because everyone deserves the opportunity to do what they do, and then you obviously have no life, and you see like this is entertaining. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna report this. I'm gonna let me see. I can actually click on that and report that person unwanted commercial spam. So man, I wanted to. Here we go. And remove. Sorry about this, people. Um, this is pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying. So if the goal was to get me to stop and get me off on my mark and to, they definitely did that because it looks quite like official, like quite legit, but there are no emails or anything. So I'm just going to report this person. And there we go. Unreported. Yeah, I'm going to choose that. Yeah, harassment. There we go. So so cool. I'm on chat service. I don't know who you are, but this is not cool. This is not cool at all. What's going on the stage? So looks like The white jersey is only 50 seconds behind the yellow jersey now, and the breakaway is 25 seconds up the street. And yeah, this is not cool, man. Uh, so all we need to do is just remove. Um, is it two? You did a good job, though. You did a good job. You made it look really official and stuff. Um, I don't want to. I want to just get rid of them altogether. Says I'm out. Okay, kill. Anyway, like I said, it's about to get off it anyway. And if you can, check out Cycling Africa Premier tonight. I just want to just check quickly to see who's in the breakaway. Um, and the breakaway is looking like I think they got Nielsen Paulus back. Oh, Biniam is 18 seconds off the back already. So there's the situation. So it looks like Benny's trying to get on. Who like it got Rollins coming up from Groves is in the break. Matthew Vanderpool. That's why Benny's trying to get on because Vanderpool is in there. And then you've got Benny is 18 seconds off of the peloton, and then you've got 50 seconds back. Oh, so Benny's trying to get into the breakaway. It looks like so. Second part of the peloton. So the main part of the peloton is 23 seconds back. Doesn't say whether the yellow jersey's in that, but then you got Nevada's and Jonas Vingegaard that's 50 seconds back. They'll get back on. I'm pretty sure. I'm not worried about that. They won't get dropped. They'll get back on. But it looks like Benny's trying to get into that breakaway because in the breakaway you got Matthew Van Der Poel and then you've got um, Arnold Ali as well as Caden Groves. But Caden Groves is not really up in the point. The person who really has to worry about most is Matthew Van Der Poel. So they are not far from the intermediate sprint point. And if they can get to the intermediate sprint point, so we'll see if Benny can close at 18 seconds, that will be amazing. But anyway, I'm out, people. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for the trolls. You know, it makes everything. we need everything to make the world go round. Um, so the only reason I was talking about Benny because Benny looks like Benny's trying to get across to the breakaway, and it's still saying 18 seconds. I need to go to the so it says pursuitings of 21 seconds to the breakaway. So Matthew Van Der Poel. So it's a breakaway of 15 riders. So that's basically all of the points. 22 seconds. Germay has been joined by Robert Stannard, Jonas Abrahamsen. So that's some power. So those if Abrahamsen, along with Benny, he has a chance to get back into the catch up to the breakaway, and he needs to get up there. And then he needs to once he gets up there, then he's got to outsprint Matthew Vanderpool and get the points. So Walt Van Aert is in there, so he's got to if he gets there, he's got to sprint again. Walt Van Aert, uh, Caden Groves, Matthew Vanderpool, Arnold Daly. So even so, you can see he's in no man's land, and then they're trying to get across. Benny needs to stop looking back and do the work, baby. Come on, baby, just do the work and get up there. He's 27 seconds. He was 18 seconds at one point. Now it's up to 27 seconds, and they're really pushing hard. So Benny's not sure if he should do the work or if he should wait for the group to get back get back on. So you can see he's indecisive, and this is not good for Benny. It's just going to hurt him. This is going to hurt him. He's not that strong this year as it is. Like Benny last year would have been able to bridge that gap, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because he's 29 seconds. They're 29 seconds behind. The group is 41 seconds. So looks like it might lose out. Looks like Matthew's going to get more points, and if Matthew gets more points, he's going to go further away from Binny. So Binny missed a really good move. Unfortunate, unfortunate. Well, these things happen. So if you're watching it, I have the volume off because I can't be bothered with listening to the guys from the Discovery Channel because the over analyzing of Tadej Pogacar and the UAE team is it's driving me crazy. Um, Everything they talk about the UAE team is bad. Everything they talk about Visma is good. And if you're a commentator, you're supposed to be impartial. I'm for Binny, but I can say that this is a bad move for Binny because if Binny gets to that break, he's not going to have nothing for the sprint. He's going to lose points to Matthew Van Der Poel as it is. So his option is to wait for the group and hope that the group can drag him up and then he can sprint for the thing. But then he's got to sprint against Tim Malaire. So he's on the back foot all the way. As much as I like Binny, um, I'm not going to say how great he is when he isn't. And that's what the commentators are doing, and it's not cool. So they're saying how great Visma is when they aren't. When Visma is supposed to be this dominant team that's going to put the hurt on Pogacar and make them suffer and all of that, and they've got him now. The group's got Vinny, so it looks like they might drag them back, and he might be able to, still sprint for maximum points. But it was like yesterday, what did you see? You saw UAE on the front, and Visma was down to just Jonas Vingegaard at one point, but luckily Kusen thing was at the front, and those guys got shouted out as well. So it definitely looked like UAE were the stronger team because they were on the front the whole day, and then when they were on the front, they were just dropping the Visma guys. They not even through attacks, just tempo riding. So who's the stronger team? So I know you want to see a competitive race. I want to see a competitive race as well. And I'm going to say this and say this again that I think the planning for this year's Tour de France was pretty dumb. They've made the Tour de France as hard as they possibly could by putting all of these hard stages back to back. And when you have stages like that, this is, in my opinion, you don't need to be smart. You just need to be the strongest guy in the race. You have that hard mountain stage, the Tourmalet. Then you have the time trial. Now, Tourmalet was yesterday? No, Tourmalet wasn't yesterday. Then you have the time trial. Then you have, so the Tourmalet was yesterday. So you have that hard stage before the time trial. Then you have the uphill time trial, mountain time trial. Then you have the Tourmalet, the finish on the Super Benya. It's like three tough stages where it's not gonna, don't have to be a rocket science. You just have to wait and you just climb people down. And that's basically what happened. So you can't really use strategy in situations like that. You can't be smart. And I'll put it in a criterion. In a criterion where it tends to be flat in a circle and maybe a little up and down just a little bit, the strongest guy really wins. The fastest guy is sometimes the fastest guy really wins. It's the smartest guy. You have to know where to position yourself, know when to, burn your matches. You can't go too hard. You may get in a breakaway, and that usually gets brought back. But you have to be smart. You have to think a lot more. You have to think where you're going to position yourself. You can't be too far back. You got to know where to start your sprint. If that last corner, do you need to be the first one into the last corner or be in the top five in the last corner? The way they've designed the races this year, it's just hard. And it just falls into the favor of Tadej Pogacar because he's clearly the strongest rider there. So if the stages are just hard, he's the strongest rider. He just has to wait and just blast off. Yesterday looked like a day where he was just I'm just going to like just follow, sort of take it easy, not burn any matches. And he looked like it was a recovery day for him. He looked like he did look a little bit tired. He didn't look like he would get blown out the water, but he did look tired. It's like, yo, I'm gonna take it easy and just save something for later because we still got Mont Ventoux coming up after the rest day. Rest days tomorrow, so we still got Mont Ventoux coming up. So it's almost like he is the strongest. He probably could have went out and probably tried to win yesterday's stage, but it's what it takes from the body, and then every time you burn the body, you burn the muscles. It takes a little longer to snap back. So I think that was so smart of him yesterday not to go for it yesterday. He did a couple of attacks, or whatever, but he really didn't do the regular Pogacar thing. He just rode within himself, and I think that was really really smart. And I think Mont Ventoux is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, they're going to be coming fresh out of the the rest day, and that's going to be crazy because it's a long way before they get to Mont Ventoux, and it's like really flat. There's no big mountains or climbs or anything before we get to Mont Ventoux, and then when it gets to Mont Ventoux, it's just a super, 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 super long climb. And let's look to see how long Mont Ventoux is. Mont Ventoux is Mont Ventoux is it's 15.6 kilometers at an average of 8.7%. I think the tough thing about Mont Ventoux is not just that it's long, it's that once you get like past halfway, then it usually, depending on the type of day, it can get pretty windy up there because the as it gets higher, because it's such high elevation, there are a few trees and shelter near the top of it, so it gets exposed and it tends to get pretty windy. So you can get any type of conditions up there. It could be windy, it could be rainy and cold, you never know. It could be even snowing at times, but it's going to be so you're going to have 130K of the riding on the flat before they actually start to go up, and then the climb I think it starts at like 150 kilometers to go. The whole stage is about 171 kilometers. The intermediate sprint is not to 110. This is on for Mont Ventoux. This is for stage 16. So it's going to be another interesting day. It's going to be a flat, fast day. You know, the sprinters trying to race for that. So basically, for the sprinters, their race is to the intermediate sprint every day. Every day, the race for the intermediate sprint is that's where it's beginning and ending for the sprinters, because with each stage that Poggi finishes, like second, third, first, or wherever, he's getting more green points. So the green points competition, like I think the last person who won all three jerseys, I think they said was Hino. Was Hino or Marx? One of them won all three jerseys. Won the polka dot, won the uh, yellow jersey, and won the green jersey. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get the polka dot jersey. It depends on how well Martinez is able to go in the next few days and get the points that he needs in the polka dot jersey. So he's leading Poggi right now, but we will see if he's able to capitalize on today and on the category 3, because that's, I believe that's only 1 point, and then 6 3-point kilometers for 1 point, and then the last two, last climb, the Poste de Sant is category 2. So I believe that's 10 points. One, 10 or 5. It's either 10 or 5. Let's see. I can see right now, 5 points. So it's only 5 points. Like I said, in the category 3 climbs, only 1 point. 2 points. Sorry, 2 points. 2 points and 1 point. So that's a lot of climbing to do. 6.3 kilometers for 2 points. Wow. So I'm pretty sure Lenny Martinez, if he's not in the break, he's going to try and go for those points. But anyway, I'm out, and thank you for joining us. And make sure you check out the review later. You know, check out my review from yesterday, a few highlights and a few things, and the highlight of my weekend. Let's show you the highlight of my weekend. It's pretty horrible. So this happened to me yesterday morning. Today is Sunday? Yeah, this happened to me yesterday morning. Rainy and wet, and I had a bird poop on my nose. Not cool at all. Not very happy. And as I stopped and I'm trying to wash it off and spray with my water bottle, it smelled horrible. I'm just so glad it didn't go in my mouth. It was really close. It was really, really close. I probably would have just fell over on the side of the road if that would have been in my mouth. But anyway, how they say shit happens? Well, I guess it does. And they say that if a bird shits on you, you're supposed to be good luck. So we will see. I'm gonna end it like that. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow on the rest day, probably to talk about some stuff and to see how things are going. No ride for me tomorrow because it's raining today and it's raining tomorrow, so I gotta wash the bike at some time, look after it, degrease the chain, and all that good stuff. All right, people. Talk to you later. Stay blessed. How they say, keep the rubber side down, the wind in your face, and up the pace, baby, up the pace. Say it with your legs. Say it with your legs.